Krystle, and I live with my husband Alex and our cat Riley. Despite living with lupus, I try to enjoy life to its fullest. So come share in life's big and little moments with me. In my shoes.
Good morning, guys. It's Friday and I am about to head off to the hospital with Alex for my jaw procedure. I didn't get much sleep last night because I think I was just too nervous and I just kept waking up. So yeah, so we're just gonna head there, but I just wanted to thank you guys so much for all of your prayers and your support. I've been reading all your messages that you left on my video and it's been really encouraging, and so we'll see how this goes. Fingers crossed. Hey guys, so I just got my IV in. Thankfully they were able to get it in, but they had to poke me twice, which I'm not surprised, but it's in. So now I'm just waiting to go to the OR. Hey guys, so I somewhat have a voice now. So I thought I would finally fill you in on what happened on the day of my surgery. I've hardly had a voice since I got out of surgery, so that's why I wasn't able to finish my video from that day. So basically they took me in pretty much on time. I guess it was around 9:30, maybe just like a little after 9:30. And they explained there was a really nice anesthesiologist. I liked her a lot better than the one that I met with in the pre-op appointment. She was a lot more sensitive and she explained things so much better as to how they were going to deal with this whole breathing tube situation. And while I was still really nervous, she did help put me a little bit more at ease than what the other guy had. So they decided that they were going to put the breathing tube down my nose and from there into my throat. It just had something to do with a structural thing with my jaw and everything like that. Before they started, my surgeon asked me again to, you know, open as wide as I could, and he was actually having me do like a couple of things with my jaw, and it had nothing to do with trying to figure out what to do with the breathing tube. It was just he wanted to kind of see the range of motion again that I had with my jaw, and he was actually kind of surprised to see that my range of motion had improved a little bit since the last time he had me do these things. And so he said he was really feeling like, you know, as long as we could get the pain under control, that I should do really well. So so they just started off by putting, well, they asked me which side of my nose I breathe out of better, and I told them my left side. My right side of my nose gets stuffed up a lot. I don't know why, but they were telling me that I have very narrow nasal passages, and so they said they'll try their best to, you know, make it as, you know, comfortable as they can, but they said that, you know, there might be points where it might be uncomfortable or painful just because I have very narrow nasal passages. So they started by putting Q-tips one after another in my nose with numbing solution, and they would leave it in there a long time and then take it out and put another one in. And so they were really making sure that my nose was numbed, and they would try to put it in a little further each time to, you know, get the numbing agent in there, like way in there. And even just, you know, the Q-tip going a certain distance was a little uncomfortable for me. And again, they said it had to do with my nasal passages. And so but also they had already sedated me as well. But I didn't feel all that out of it. But I was starting to feel that, like, I don't know, like the room's kind of going like this. And then they started to spray stuff down my throat to numb my throat. And it didn't hurt, but it wasn't pleasant because they kind of had my head tilted back. And so they're spraying like liquid down my throat, and I was like coughing on it. But it did really numb things in there. And they gave me, I don't know, I would say probably 5 or 6 squirts of that stuff. And then once they had the numbing gel situation done, then they also sprayed something in my nose to really get it like going through and numbing everything. And then, they were about ready to start putting the breathing tube down my nose, and I felt like I was still not drugged enough to my liking. I didn't feel comfortable, so I asked them for a bit more sedation, which they did. And then I was, pretty loopy. But it still wasn't, I remember them starting to put the tube in, and at first it wasn't that bad. And then the further they went, it did start to hurt a little bit. And then it was like, they were trying to like push it, and I don't want to gross you guys out, but like it felt like they were screwing something, and the more it went in, like the more it started to hurt. And so I was making them well aware that it was painful. But again, it wasn't as painful as I thought it would be. It was just painful. And so I let them know, and then I don't really remember too much after that. I think I may have heard them say that they felt confident they could finish the rest with me under, because then after that, I don't remember anything. Like I don't even remember going to sleep. I just don't remember anything after that point. So they must have put me under at that point, and I don't remember anything until I woke up. So, they, I believe, woke me up in the OR, and then they took me to this other room, and they put ice on my face, like an ice pack. But I was surprised. I wasn't in much pain at that point, but I was still kind of waking up. They asked me if I wanted any pain medication, and I said, well, I don't know if I need it right now. But I was still kind of out of it. And then, it did start to ache a little bit. And so I didn't know if that was just the beginning of the pain. And they're like, well, how about we'll give you something for it now before it gets worse, and just try to kind of take care of it. And I said, okay. And so they gave me 2 Percocet. And then a little while after that, they gave me an ibuprofen. And then I was done in for. I was so loopy. I mean, the room was spinning. I was like, whoa. Alex had come in. They had called him in. And he was with me for a little while. And then they just said, like, to let me sleep for about an hour. And so I tried to sleep. I kind of was sleeping on and off. And, but my voice was very, very raspy, way worse than it is now. I could barely talk. I barely had a voice. And I guess that all had to do with the tube going down. I also remember feeling like a liquid in my ear. And when I went to like kind of go like this, and I looked at my finger and I saw a bit of blood. And I asked the nurse if that was normal, and she looked and she said she wasn't seeing any blood, but I know that I did, because the next afternoon when I showered, I found dried up blood in my ear. So I don't know what that was all about. I see the doctor on Wednesday, so I'll have to talk to him about that. But yeah, so after about an hour of sleeping, they said that I could get they called Alex to come back in, and he helped me get dressed, and they had me walk a few steps here and there, and I was very wobbly, very shaky because of the drugs. So they had a volunteer wheel me out while Alex brought the car around, and I just slept the whole car ride home, and I felt really nauseous, and the lady told me the medications will do that. And she said that also sometimes during surgery you might swallow blood. And so she said, really, like, we can give you all the gravel you want, but the best thing really will be if you can throw up at some point. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. But anyways, when I got home, I felt like I was going to, and I ran to the bathroom. Well, not ran to the bathroom because I was all like, boo. But I got to the bathroom and I threw up a tiny bit, but that was about it. And then I just went straight to bed and slept pretty much straight through to the evening. And then I was hungry, and of course I can't chew stuff right now. So I had Ensure, I had some yogurt, things like that. And then I went back to sleep. And so I finally woke up later in the evening. I think it was like around 9, and I decided to come out and sit on the couch and try catching up on some YouTube, things like that. And so I was okay for a while, and then all of a sudden I felt really nauseous again, and I went to the bathroom, and that's when I threw up like big time. And it was the weirdest thing. I don't know, I guess because they put the tube down this nose, it probably had caused some bleeding at some point because of my narrow passages, and I guess the force of throwing up caused a major nosebleed. And I have never had a nosebleed at all in my life. I don't deal well with blood and stuff like that. And so I'm like throwing up in the toilet, and I'm like yelling to Alex, get something for my nose because something's coming out of my nose. At that point, I didn't realize that I was bleeding. I just thought maybe like I had splashed throw up on my face or something and that it was dripping off. But then I realized, no, it was blood. And so that freaked me out a little bit and made me feel even more queasy because I don't do well with blood and things. So, so I was like, oh my God, like, what do I do? I've never had a nosebleed. And he's like, don't worry, it'll stop. And so I just like had the Kleenex like up to my nose, and it did. It stopped fairly quickly, thankfully. But then I just felt like really, really queasy. But by then, like the grogginess of the medication was starting to wear off. I still felt tired and stuff, but yeah. So I stayed up for a little bit, and then I went to bed and slept on and off all night, and I slept in on Saturday morning, but I was bound and determined to make it to the Kelly Clarkson concert. And I will tell you, I was very surprised that I literally had no pain. I took they prescribed me codeine and ibuprofen, and I did not take any of that until Saturday morning. I decided to take an ibuprofen because I had a little bit of a headache here, and my ear and jaw in this area was hurting a little bit. But it really wasn't, honestly, the pain wasn't really any worse than what I had been already dealing with for all these months. So I really didn't feel the need to take like heavy narcotics just for pain that I've pretty much been dealing with already. It wasn't any worse. So I was really surprised. And I was also surprised to wake up and find that I had no swelling at all. Even the day of, I said to Alex, I said, they were telling me, like, they put the ice on me for about 20 minutes. They came in and took it off. And then I could have sworn, but maybe it was me being drugged up. I could have sworn I heard the nurse tell another nurse to come back in 20 minutes and put the ice back on because I was quite swollen. And I was thinking, oh my God, like how swollen am I? And then she had even told me to go home and if I had like ice packs or peas at home, like to put it on my face. And I asked Alex if I looked swollen and he's like, no, I don't see any swelling. And so I never did put ice on when I came home, and I didn't really get a chance to look because I slept so much the Friday, so I really didn't get a chance to look at myself till Saturday morning, and there was no swelling. I saw absolutely no swelling at all. I'm wondering if maybe she was seeing some of my moon face from the prednisone and thinking that I was swollen from the procedure, but it's not. And so all I had was, I mean, they do it with 2 little needles on each side. They put one needle in to flush the joints and then another needle for the cortisone shots. And they just had like a little tiny Band-Aid up by my ear on each side. And so when I went to shower, I didn't know when I was supposed to take them off. I had forgot to ask. But when I went to shower on Saturday, I realized I pretty much had to take them out because part of the bandage was stuck in my hair and I wouldn't have been able to wash my hair in that spot. So I took them off, and this side, the Band-Aid was quite bloody. Of course, dried up blood, but there was a lot of blood on that side, and that happened to be the side that my ear was bleeding too. This side, though, had literally nothing on the Band-Aid. So this side must have bled more, and I'm assuming because it's so close to my ear, maybe some blood got into my ear. Because I was still finding dried up blood in there yesterday. So, but I did it. I went to the Kelly Clarkson concert, and I had a blast. I was a little hesitant because I was still feeling a little sleepy, especially after having a shower and blow drying my hair and all that. But once I got to the concert, and I was with my friend Denise, and because my mom was going to go with me, but she threw her back out, and she's still not doing well with her back, so please pray for her, guys. So she couldn't make it. And so I was just thankful that my friend at the last minute could make it with me. So we went, and it was an awesome show. Kelly Clarkson was amazing. I hardly had a voice. And so I'm used to going to concerts and singing along. So I basically just lip synced here and there. I was afraid that if I talked too much or even like lip synced too much, that it would start hurting my jaw, but I was fine. I literally had nothing. I felt great and I couldn't believe it. And I was like jumping up and down during Since You've Been Gone. And I did even sing along a couple of times, like not just lip sync, like actually sing. Of course, it probably sounded horrible because I had really no voice, but I had a blast. It was an amazing show. She is an amazing performer. She is so humble, so down to earth. I just loved every minute of the show. My only complaint was that she was not on stage long enough. The concert started at 7:30, and we had 3 opening acts. The last opening act was a really good group. I keep forgetting how to say their name, but I know them from YouTube. They're an a cappella group, and so I recognized them as soon as they came out, and I said, I like these guys. But the other 2 opening acts, I had no clue. And I didn't understand why there was 3 opening acts, because basically that meant Kelly did not come out until about 9:30 or just a little after 9:30 p.m. So almost 2 hours of opening acts. That was a little much. And then she was done before 11 p.m. So she was on stage just under an hour and a half. And I was thinking, these tickets were like $122 each. We had awesome seats, by the way. We were like dead center, and we were one section up from the ground level, but she had a walkway that came out from the stage that almost brought her to the front of our section. And we had awesome view of her and stuff. So that was awesome. But I just thought, like, wow, for the money, like, I was hoping she'd be there at least a full hour and a half to 2 hours. But other than that, I mean, every song she did, I knew every song. I loved every song. I danced, I sang, or lip synced. I jumped around, I clapped. I mean, I was like fine. And I was like, man, Kelly Clarkson, I am a dedicated fan because I made it to your concert the day after surgery. It was determination. And honestly, I had no pain. The only pain I had was once we left the venue and got home, this ear, and just the area in front of the ear started to hurt, probably from the loud music. So I did take a codeine that night, and I took an ibuprofen that night, and it helped, and I slept. And then yesterday, I didn't take anything for pain during the day. I did not take anything at all. And last night, again, though, I find at night is when I need to take something, because for some reason when I lay down, I like to lay on my side. So that's when some of the ear pain starts, or some of the jaw pain. But again, it's really not pain that's much worse than what I've already been experiencing, which I got used to in a sense. So yeah, so I've just been taking, so last night again, I just took an ibuprofen, and I took a sleeping pill, and I got a good night's sleep. And I'm feeling pretty good right now. I mean, I'm still eating like mushy stuff. He told me I didn't have to be on a liquid diet, just like stuff that I didn't have to chew a lot. So I've been having like oatmeal, yogurt, pudding cups, pastas, and sure, I'm going to get Alex to pick up some soups today because we don't have any of that, and I want a bit more variety. But I do see the doctor on Wednesday for a follow-up, and I think he's supposed to be giving me exercises to do for my jaw, and I guess just checking in on me. And then I guess I'll find out more when it's okay for me to start really like trying to chew stuff. But yeah, I've just been really, really surprised. I mean, they were sending me home with hardcore pain meds, and I was thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be in tons of pain. And nothing, no swelling, nothing. My arm here, I had the IV in this hand. Not where the IV was, but up the arm hurts for some reason. It is a bit red. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I hope nothing went wrong with the IV and it's like done something to my arm. So I'll have to ask them about that if it's still going on. But yeah, I mean, really, that's the only thing that's hurting is my arm from the IV, and here and there, like inside my ear here in this area. But I mean, really, like, I don't see any marks. I don't really see any bruising. I don't see any swelling. So I'm hoping that that is a good thing. And what that hopefully means is we'll know sooner rather than later if this procedure has worked, because he said it can take up to a month to heal from the procedure before they know for sure whether it's taken effect. And he was saying you could be quite sore for quite some time after the procedure, so you have to wait for everything to heal up before you can tell if the procedure has taken effect. Well, I'm thinking my pain's almost not there at this point, so I'm hoping that means the recovery is going to be faster for me, and we'll know sooner than a month if it's taken effect. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, and my voice sounds a lot better today. Yesterday it was still kind of coming and going, in and out. But this, yeah, this is a lot better. So that's good. I think it's just been good because I've just been trying not to talk a lot. And I've been doing a lot of sleeping and stuff. And it's been nice because I did not get a lot of sleep on the trip. So it's been nice to catch up on sleep too. And I have all this week off to sleep as much as I want. I really don't have any solid plans this week other than my doctor's appointments. So, but yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I read all of your comments. I know there were so many comments. It was very hard for me to get around to answering everyone's comments just because of how I was feeling and everything. But I definitely read all of your comments, and I appreciate all of your prayers, all of your well wishes, all of your support. It meant a lot to me to read as I was waiting to go in for surgery, and later on when I was well enough to get on my phone and read some more. It really meant a lot to me. So thank you so much, guys. I'm doing well. I can't believe how well I'm doing. Like, I thought I would be just out of it, and I was really worried I wouldn't be able to feel well enough to go to the concert, but I did, and I had a blast. So I really think, like, you guys praying for me, it really helped, obviously, and thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, that's it for this video. I'm going to wrap this up because I need to finish having my breakfast so I can take my pills. Bye, guys. Go find them. There you go. Okay, go find more. Find more. Other side. You see it. Over there. Treat. No. How did you miss that one? Just make sure you pick up the crumbs, please, because we've